What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another BT9 locals match. Today we are going to be having Alphamon or Yukon mode on the right, and then on the left we will be having the 3 Musk or the Beelstar control, however you prefer to call it. But this is a matchup that can be pretty favored for the 3 Musketeers because of all the spot removal that is in the deck. You are going to have to be swinging for multiple checks as Alphamon, normally going for maybe 3-4 checks at a time, so there's a lot of cards that you could hit that could take down the Alphamon stack. Now luckily that the Yukon mode is a level 7, so you can dodge things like Fly Bullet, and these decks don't normally play the Trump Sword, but we did see a blue tamer played on the Beelstar side, which means that they are playing the blue package, which means that they will have the Cocytus Breath, so you would be able to deal with it there unless your opponent has the Breath of the Gods to be able to prevent the bouncing. But other than that, like I said, this is a pretty decent deck to go into, and actually we just see the Cocytus Breath played right there, not even worrying about it in security. Let's just get rid of your stack. If you're going to go ahead and build up to 3 anyway, might as well put you to 3, get rid of your stack, and make you start over. And honestly, that's how these Alphamon decks usually go in these X-Antibody decks. They're going to build a big stack, and if you get rid of it, they're just going to have to rebuild it again. So pretty decent use of memory here. I'm going to go into the Dobermon and swing in. Going to start getting the on deletion effects here. Starting off with the Gabumon, we'll be able to draw and trash, and then Dobermon, going to be able to mill 3 and then grab a purple Digimon. So it looks like they want the Eismon Scatter mode, obviously a very strong card to be able to swing in, draw, and trash cards. You want to be getting those 7-cost options into the trash, so Scatter mode is a very powerful card in these decks. Even with the Eismon hit in the last format, it doesn't really matter just because the standalone strength of drawing and discarding so many cards while getting a check has that value retained within decks like this. Gazimon out for the 3 Musk player could be pretty big. The Alphamon decks do tend to have a lot of memory gain. You have the Alphamon or Yukon mode, which is going to be gaining you up to 7. You also have multiple black memory boosts played in these decks, and then you have the Dex effects to be able to gain the memory there. So Gazimon, not the worst card to just have chilling out there. And then gonna go for the Missed Memory Boost, get a couple trashes, and then the draw. But Missed Memory Boost, great when you're playing cards for so expensive like the Beelstars for maybe, 5, 6, 7 memory. Having that extra memory to be able to pop up and potentially keep your turn will help. Here we see one of the black memory boosts that I was mentioning. It is going to get shut down for right now until they get rid of this Gazimon, but what we did see off of that black memory boost is 2 Cool Boys get bottomed, so that is good to note because that is a pretty strong card in the deck to be able to give you a lot of resources. And when you are the 3 Musk player and you see 2 of them going to the bottom, you know that they're not going to be able to get as much value here. Going into the Gazimon X-Antibody here to trash 3 off the top, hitting some pretty decent trash stacks now. Beelstar will start to go down pretty quick. I believe there's 6 or 7 in the trash right now, so Beelstar sitting at either 5 or 6, which is great for them because now they're really starting to build up their trash really big, which means that they're starting to essentially race with the Alphamon. The Alphamon's going to go for those big swings, try to go for game, and to really keep up and prevent that from happening and try to get your own game plan. Being able to have turns where you're able to play multiple Beelstars is going to be the way to go there. So getting the trash up pretty big so you can go for things like multiple of the nail bones, or maybe just to get removal multiple times if you need to hit multiple levels. But here we see another Eismon Scatter mode going in. It does go down in security, so gonna be able to get some draws and trash. One thing to note on the X-Antibody side is that they didn't have the Dora Greymon. They went straight for the Dex Dora Greymon, so that's a lot of strength lost in the stack. The Dora Greymon having the security tag +1 is really what you want there, and we don't have Yuji on the board, so we're not going to be able to put extra stacks on there. So if we do get up into the Alphamon, our stack isn't going to be the most intimidating as far as aggression, because normally you would be able to get maybe +1, +2 security checks, and as of right now it's sitting relatively weak, on top of the fact that Dex Dora Greymon is relatively expensive to get up into since it is a 4 to Digivolve. But here we are going to see a Beelstar. I didn't mention this at the beginning, but there are some proxies in this deck, as you can see with that tamer in there, and that is fine. We're allowing proxies since this first event didn't fully have BT9 legal yet, just pre-release, so there are some proxies, but again, it doesn't matter too much. They are full color, so we will be good. But now we have the Alphamon board cleared. We have a couple Digimon on board and just not a lot of aggression going on the Alphamon side. They could get up into a Mega here and start to build up, but instead we are just going to get the Dobermon out to search and then play out the Yuji, which will help when you promote later and be able to get a little bit of draw and cycle. But you definitely want to be getting up into your Mega, so not using the memory to Digivolve there is putting you another turn behind. You will have the memory to to potentially go up and Digivolve there your next turn, but having the Alphamon in raising so you can promote and go into the Or You Can mode is going to be very nice. As we see here, the Alphamon player is starting to get really low on security. Only one left. Can swing with the Beelstar. That is the last check gone. No security triggers, and we do have the Gabumon in the raising that you can't deal with, so if that comes out, they will just have the swing to be able to go in for game without something like a blocker. So gonna go with the Calling of the Darkness, gonna be able to grab what I believe was a Gazimon and then the Beelstar and play out the Gazimon. Again, very strong versus this deck because you will be able to block a bunch of memory gain, including the things like the Black Memories on the board and the Alphamon or Yukin, but there are ways to be able to delete level 4s or lower, so we're gonna go ahead and promote gain 1, draw 1 with the Dextor Greymon, and by promoting there, it shows me that they're probably starting to go in right here. Gonna put the X antibody option underneath, so now you have the ability to swing and Digivolve up. So if you go up into the Alphamon, which we do here, that means now you can swing, go up into your Alphamon or Yukin mode, and the Alphamon, the Digivolve effect isn't going to do anything there, but do get the source underneath, going to swing, put the Orumon underneath, and then Digivolve up into the Alphamon or Yukin, and then end of attack they will unsuspend. So going for what I believe is 3 checks now. Actually only the 2 checks, but you do get to unsuspend here, and then end of turn be able to trash the sources to gain memory. So going to 2, looking to trash what 3, 4, 5 sources underneath, so gaining 5, so should be at 3. I think the memory counter there at 4 is incorrect, but there's a very high chance that you could just go for game right here unless you hit an option card. So we'll have to see if they swing. You get 2 checks. Check 1, check 2 safe, swing with the Dorumon, clear, and then there's the Grumblemon. That is the finisher that this deck loves so much consistency in having just one hybrid to go for game. But getting on into game 2, Three Musketeers is actually choosing to go first, which is much different than normal. These decks normally like to go second because it's so much slower, but when you have these newer builds that are playing things more in the mid-range like the Doberman and the Scatter mode, it does make a little more sense to go first if you're really trying to go for that turn to be able to get the cycle going. But did miss it there, ended up passing, so you know, having to choose which turn you want to go, if you want to go first or second before looking at your hand can sometimes bite you in the butt if you don't hit the cards that you need. But now looks like they're starting to build up a little bit, going into the Gazi X antibody and then going into the Ogremon to try and get 2 swings, but only getting the 1, but still get some trash in there from the Ogremon to get 1 more card in there, and then just gonna play the Memory Tamer to pass. That's pretty good because you can later start to now choke your opponent, but now they have 3 Ryudamon on the board. This is pretty weak to something like Walt Schwarmer or Happy Bullet Showering, but smartly they are going to start swinging in before they do go down. Being able to get those extra checks in early will make it so that winning the game is a little bit easier, and you get to check for option cards right here. Swinging in with the Ryudamon and putting the Doru Greymon underneath, so I don't think I've really seen trying to give the security tag to a rookie, but hey, if it worked out, that would have been great. Would have been able to get really good value, especially because as of right now, unless you're playing an option card, you can't really get rid of anything on the board, so having a suspended Digimon, even though it is weak, wouldn't be too much. So here comes out the Dexmon or the Death Xmon, coming out for, I believe that was 11 because there was 3 on the board, and gonna be able to pop the rookie. So that is a lot of memory to invest, though. Giving Alphamon so much memory is definitely going to allow them to just build up into whatever stack they want and potentially get out any tamers or memory boosts that they wish. So gonna go with the Coda, getting the Memory Tamer out, so you're starting at 3 no matter what. When you promote with the Yuji's next turn, you'll be going to 5, so sitting on some pretty good memory right now. And then just gonna play the Ryudamon. Your opponent's going to 3, so you're not getting full memory expenditure, but because of the end of opponent's turn effect of that Death Xmon, the Ryudamon is just gonna go down anyway, so they just play it to get the search, and then it will go down, and they swing in first check into the Cool Boy, so the Izmon is surviving, which is unfortunate for the 3 Musk player, and they hit Cool Boy, which is great for the Alphamon player. Even more memory gain on top of the Yujis and the Kodas that we're going to be having next turn when Digivolving up. So with the Death Xmon on the board, though, this is kind of one of those situations where you probably want to try to go for game if you are promoting, just in case you don't have to try to sack anything to Death Xmon. Obviously, if you can play out something like a rookie, you can play around that, but it still can be a little bit scary. So I think we're sitting in the scenario where, since we did go in for early checks with those Dorumons and the Ryudamons earlier, now being able to just go in with an Alphamon and being able to get those last 3 checks and then go in again for the hybrid is looking a little bit easier and more realistic. So gonna promote, going up to 5 memory with the Yuji's, gonna put the X antibody underneath and get the Doru memory gain, and then there's the Cool Boy. So So going to be able to gain another memory there with the Dex Dorugumon effect. So lots of memory gain effects coming back to back right there. But now we're up to the Dorugreymon. We'll see if they have the Dex Dorugreymon. Could help out right here, be able to get rid of this Gabumon if you want. So here it is, does have the Dorugreymon, so going to be able to pop the Gabumon. They did trash the card, so they're going to gain a memory, and they get it fixed right there. So pop, gain the memory. Now going into the Alphamon, be able to put another source underneath with that Oryumon, very big. So now you're going to be able to swing. You have the X antibody option in the inheritable, so you can go ahead and Digivolve up here for 3. You go to 1, but since you have the end of turn with the Oryuken mode, you will be able to gain more than enough memory to be able to keep your turn. So going up into the Oryukenmon here, going to be able to swing 1, 2, but hits the Kakaitis, so could have went in, but again, like I said, the level 7s don't get hit by too many cards in here, but they do get hit by the Kakaitis Breath, and fully kind of punished right there. Going for the swing, I think it does make sense. You had a good shot of surviving there. Kakaitis Breath being really the only thing that's going to dampen your plans, but it did hit you right there, and now you're still looking in a decent position. If you can get something to come out of raising and swing and then going for a hybrid, you will be looking pretty good in yourself. But your opponent just played the Nail Bone, so now they got 2 Digimon on board to your 2 security. Nothing in raising, so you're not super in danger of losing next turn, but still gonna get chipped pretty hard. And they have the Gazimon out, so anything like the Dorimon or potentially the Black Memory Boost aren't gonna be able to gain you any memory there. But the Dorumon out, and then 1 in raising as well. Really nice pre-releases there, and then gonna go with the Black Memory Boost. So just ignoring the Gazimon, we are looking for Search here. Not really worried about not gaining the memory. You're gonna be able to gain so much off of the Yugis and the Cool Boys here, which will just go around the Gazimon memory prevention. So you're gonna have access to pretty strong turns here, but I think as long as you have the hybrid, you're looking pretty good. There's no recovery in these lists. Yeah, you could play a blocker and that could help you, but if you don't, swinging Dorimon and then being able to just go for a hybrid, or if the one on board does live and then you can just swing for both. You do have games, so we're gonna have to see some sort of removal or blocker on the board right here. Going with the Gazimon effect right there. No cards trashed for the Beelstar, but now we can go into the scatter mode, swing in. Once again, it has the quote-unquote jamming because it's never going down, hitting another Cool Boy, which I don't think it's going to matter too much at this point. I don't think it's either you have the blocker and you survive, or you're probably just going down next turn. Sitting at 1 memory means that even if you go into Beelstar, you're probably passing turn. I don't think there's 12 cards in trash, so if you want to delete this Dorimon on the board, you're going to have to pass turn, and I just think you're in a pretty rough spot defensively. It looks like they're counting everything here, looking at whatever their options could be to help them out here, but like I said, unless you're getting something like a Viomon out, it's gonna be pretty rough. Does have enough cards in trash to play Beelstar for 1 though, so you do get to clear, you get to play out another Gazimon, so they do get to go to 5, potentially more with Cool Boys, but at least you do prevent the Black Memory Boost gain from going. But we're gonna swing in, and then yep, there's the Grumblemon. The Alphamon X Antibody decks love to finish the game with the Grumblemon, and it's so consistent once again. But with that being said, if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, because I'll be bringing you even more BT9 content, and I hope to see you next time. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace out.